This is our second castle ruin that we come to. It's called the Fürstenberg Castle. The castle offers an authentic taste of the Middle Ages, built to provide the protection for the estates of the electorate of the Cologne and Bach. It was later used for levying of tolls. Built on the slope amidst the vineyards overlooking the Rhine, the castle is dominated by a 25-meter high circular keep, which is characteristically narrows into the battlement's crown. The remains of the curtain walls, which would have once been up to 10 meters high, are still visible. As a obtusely angled bend in the wall, a small flanking tower still stands. It was added around 1500 to make the castle more easily defendable with firearms. On the side facing the Rhine, where there are the ruins of a residential building, which, while part of the former gatehouse and a 12-meter deep moat was hewn from the rock, are also notable features. Parts of the walls are still covered with their original plaster. In 1243, the courts of Palatine of the Rhine inherited Fürstenberg Castle as fiefdom. Captured during the 30-Year War by the Spanish in 1620 and the Swedes in 1632, the castle was completely destroyed in 1849 during the Palatinate War of Secession. Fürstenberg has remained as a ruin despite the fact that restoration had been once planned. It is currently privately owned, open to the public. There's a small car park and cemetery, approximately 200 meters. This next castle I thought was a rather impressive site. It was built in the 12th century by the order of the Archbishop of Cologne to protect the Four Valley region around the Bacharach. For centuries, the castle was owned by the most important families of the empire, and would prove to be very profitable with the introduction of the Bacharach Rhine tolls in the 13th century. In 1135, it was mentioned as the Cologne feudal tenure of Goswin von Stalac of a lower Frankian family. His descendant Hermann was made Count Palatine, and thus one of the highest dignitaries of the empire. At the start of the 13th century, the Wassenbach family inherited the Palatine county through marriage. In 1869, during the Palatinate War of Secession, the castle was actually blown up by French troops. The debris from the explosion actually destroying the nearby Warner Chapel, Gothic Warner Chapel. In the 19th century, parts of the castle ruin were again razed to the ground when overzealous subjects flattened them before the Prussian Crown Prince Frederick Wilhelm and his wife came to visit the site. In 1829, the prince gave the ruins to his wife as a present. The Princess of Wattelsbach family, however, envisioned a restoration never really occurred. Apparently, the princess was a little disappointed with her accommodations. Between 1925 and 1927, a Hughes hostel was built upon the old foundation that still exists today. The more history was that during the Third Reich, the building played a rather inglorious role as with the National Socialists, as it was set up as a re-education camp for young people. Stalac Castle, it was where conscripted adolescents from Luxembourg were prepared for the Eastern Front. This is a well-planned functional arrangement of elements of the Stalac Castle, with moats and ditches and curtain walls and keeps and great halls all rising one behind the other. The installation of a water basin instead of a moat, however, was a rather uncommon feature of this castle. It is a youth hostel and it's open to the public. It's accessible with a 10 or 15 minute walk from several parking areas. This next castle was actually too far inland for us to see from the Rhine. However, it was part of the built on the hill over the other side of Stalin Castle. It was situated in the Steege Valley and was built no later than 1219 by the Archbishop of Cologne in order to protect the Four Valley region again, with the villages of Bacharach, Dieback, Manbach, and Steege. In doing this, the Archbishop of Cologne, who had Fürstenberg Castle built at the same time, wanted to secure his proprietary rights to tolls. In the middle of the 12th century, Bacharach and the Stalin castles had passed into possession of the Counts Palatine. In 1243, the fiefdom of these two castles was also granted to the Counts Palatine, and the profits were distributed evenly. The position in the layout of the Stalberg Castle clearly indicates it is rooted in the 12th century. It is situated on a rocky projection to the northwest of the town. A ring wall protects parts of which have been rebuilt, surrounds the entire area, and is rectangular in shape with several openings. Prominent circular tower that rises next to the gateway, like a keep, was added at the start of the 13th century and secures a narrow entrance with its curtain wall and a ditch. This part of the design is based on a similar feature of the Stalin Castle. The original keep can probably be identified in the ruins of an angular tower in the upper part of the castle. This castle is owned by the Rhinish Association for the Preservation of Monuments and Landscapes, and is an open ruin. However, it'll be about a 30-minute walk from the closest car park.